So today is October 5th, 2017, and I've come to check on and add to next year's compost pile. I started this 3 days ago. I just piled up a bunch of dried leaves and grass clippings, watered it in as I layered it up. So right now I'm going to take the temperature of said pile. I got my homemade compost temperature probe here. This was a 9-iron. Bought it at Value Village for $2, and then went to Walmart and got this indoor-outdoor thermometer, which has about a 3-4 foot wire lead. Just ran it through the shaft, and there's the probe at the end. So let's take the temperature of this pile. It smells like it's working already. It smells like shit, to be honest with you. Say ah. Now we're just going to let that sit for a few minutes. Shows that it's 19 degrees Celsius outside, and the probe at the end is reading 30 degrees Celsius. So we'll give it a couple minutes and see what it does. So it's been about 2 minutes. The temperature at the unit here is 17. Sun's going down, cooling off, and the temperature at the end of the probe inside the pile is 64.3 and climbing. So you know it's hot in there. Oh, 65.6. So I'm going to take a stab at it with the pitchfork and see what it looks like inside. Look at that steam. Yeah, that's hot. It's working. So like I said, this is just grass clippings and straw, or leaves I should say. Leaves are your carbon and the grass clippings are nitrogen. And it's the grass clippings that generate the heat. As you water it in and it starts decomposing, it makes heat, hot composting. But with winter setting in, I'm just going to leave it like this till the spring, and then I'll flip it 3 or 4 times throughout the year, add some more to it, which I'm going to do right now. And then hopefully by fall, got a half decent amount of compost. That's the plan anyways. So they say a healthy compost pile should consist of more browns than greens at a ratio of about 30 to 1. That's 30 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen. I really don't subscribe to that. I just maybe shoot for 3 to 1. I like the idea of having a decent amount of grass clippings in there because that's what generates the heat. So what I've done now is I just dumped out a couple bags of grass and 3 bags of leaves, mixed it while it's dry, and then I'm going to layer it up on the existing pile and water in each individual layer. Not too terribly much water, just enough to keep it damp. You don't want to saturate it because I think that'll inhibit the decomposition process. Freaking leaves. So we'll give it a little drizzle of water. And of course, like I said, it's the first week of October. Winter is just around the corner. This pile is going to be frozen solid. Eventually. But hopefully, as it's decomposing, you know, it'll keep generating heat. Because basically all I can do is throw the tarp over it to retain that heat and control the moisture contents that's in it. And then that's all I can do till spring. Now this huge pile here is going to be a fraction of that when it's all done. So next spring I'm just going to start dumping more on. As I flip it, I'm going to keep dumping more grass clippings and leaves on. And then eventually, once the dried leaf supply runs out, then I'll just leave it and flip it a couple times and see what it does by fall. A little more water. Because I just finished, a couple days ago, I just finished spreading out last year's compost that I made. And it took an incredible amount of grass. And at the time, I started making it in June, so the only access to browns I had was straw, and that takes forever to break down. So that's why I'm getting an early start, take full advantage of all the leaves that are around. Now, hindsight being 2020, what I should have done with a pile this big is taken like a 6-inch pipe of some kind, whether it be a PVC or some round ductwork pipe, drilled a bunch of holes in it and put it down the middle at the bottom of the pile, so that way it'll oxygenate it at the bottom. Because when you get a pile this big, I'm pretty sure that at the bottom it'll be starved of oxygen, which will hinder the decomp process. So in the spring when I flip this pile, I think that's what I'm going to do. And just see how that works. I know it can't hurt, that's for sure. And everybody says, well, why don't you just get compost that's already made? Well, for starters, that costs money. And this is free. All it takes is a little bit of time and effort. Time and effort, that's all. Seems to be in short supply for a lot of people. Can't grasp the concept of, doing shit for yourself. Make it instead of buy it. I guess I'm just old school that way. And then I'll put the tarp over it, and that'll retain the heat and the condensation as well. So it'll condensate underneath the tarp and maintain a half decent moisture content in the pile. Or that's what I'm hoping for anyways. Over and out.